David Skirika here. How's everybody doing? Sorry for not doing this for a few days. My mother came and visited, and it was kind of, and I haven't seen her, or she hasn't visited the Bahamas in 5 years since, before COVID, and actually 6 years in 2019. And um, she's kind of old. She's getting over cancer. I don't know if this might be, this is a tough place to get to, so it might be the last time she's here. And then we were at a dinner party Monday night. And I don't know if it's something from the party or what, but I had a wicked stomach flu yesterday, just like a 24-hour kind of bug. And basically the toilet was my best friend. So I was kind of just going from the I had aches and pains, the whole thing, a little bit of a fever. So but I'm fine now. So I guess it was just one of those 24-hour things. Maybe it was food poisoning. Who knows, right? So anyway, sorry about that. So we'll get right back into it here. So today's stock chart of the day is going to be very simple. Is gold ever going to pull back? Hey, isn't this a good question to have now? We've seen gold get to almost 3,000. I think now we're overdue, and we haven't really seen this as SLV here. Silver participate as much. So, we're seeing gold go straight up. There's a lot of rumors, stuff in Fort Knox and the whatnot. I'm not going to get into all that here for the sake of this interview, but if we kind of look at gold here, it does kind of look like this breakout that happened in the spring, which was followed by, see, after this short consolidation here in early 2024, then here. And then you can see this kind of like sideways for like, this is what I can see happening here. This next sideways consolidation. We still haven't gone to the new highs in the gold stocks. You can see they're down a tiny bit today. We'll look at the GDXJ as well. So they haven't not hit new highs. So I just kind of consider maybe now we've had this huge move. Now we can consolidate for the next move higher. Of course, like no one thing that we can talk about that is kind of like maybe working against gold short term is that, it looks like Elon Musk has already gotten over $100 billion in savings. And I've noticed that this budget deficit number is going up a lot slower now because he's cut so much. Remember, this is the easy stuff that he's doing right now. It's going to get a lot more difficult going forward. And the issue that we're going to have going forward is he's already talking about giving everyone $5,000 a person, for whatever, for the Doge thing. Because, for example, you can see, look at if he can save $1 trillion. Well, the debt per person right now is 107,000, right? So let's say a trillion, that's basically divided by 36, right? Would be like, or divided by 30, say let's say 30, just to make it easier. 30. So if you divide this by 30, the debt per, and I don't know if he means per taxpayer too, right? But let's say it's per person. Well, for taxpayer, you're talking like 3,000 each. Or sorry, 3,000 each for citizen, and for taxpayer it'd be 9,000 each. But the problem with that is like that just doesn't really reduce the deficit then, right? Because say the trillion you save, you give right back, right? So you're still running the $2 trillion deficit. Now, if you want to do that over 5 years, it's fine. Because remember that trillion you save over 5 years is going to be permanent. You're going to save 5 trillion over 5 years, right? So then, if you say give a trillion of that 5 trillion back, maybe you could do that. But I think the whole point of this is to cut the deficit. And then, of course, Trump is going to try to do a big, big, big tax cut. And that's going to also like bring the deficit right back to 2 trillion, even after these cuts, right? So we'll see what happens, right? But maybe the slowing in this deficit could help it. What's interesting though is it doesn't really seem to be affecting interest rates. So we'll see. But I definitely think right now where we are in gold and this huge move into gold, I think like there's other factors, not just the US debt and deficit and interest rates. The other factors include like, a lot of I think central banks around the world are basically putting new funds into gold. They're not buying US treasuries because of all the jingoistic, trade war talk from Trump. Well, if you're Canada, for example, which owns over $300 billion of US treasuries, why would you buy US treasuries right now when all this guy's doing is attacking you, right? Same thing goes with China or the whatnot, right? So I think that's kind of like now Canada's probably not buying, gold, but here's the thing: Canada could buy, you know, their own bonds. They could buy yeah, their own currency. They could buy euros bonds. So they, all that sort of thing as well. So I think that kind of shift from central banks is another reason that we're seeing this move. But like I said, it's so overbought. It does remind me of this top here last April, May. And that wasn't that long. You can see that last into June. Like basically, the May top was even a little bit longer. a little higher. So, from that top, it was only 2 months. From the April top, it was 3 months. So 3 month consolidation here as well. And so what we're really close on is, you can see the junior mining stocks. Again, I've talked about this in the past, how they're very close to breaking out. And you can see that here, right? You can see that the 650 is very right there. And we break out of this. It's a very nice base. And the thing about the junior mining stocks is they don't really need higher resource prices. They just need some kind of factor. Maybe it'll be Pullback getting in Canada, so Canada will be much more pro mining, really help the junior sector. Whatever the case may be, they just need something like that to catalyst the higher. Because I remember the same thing happened in the mid 2000s, and I'll go back to the mid 2000s just to show you what I'm talking about here in juniors before I finish off today. When this happened here, it didn't really matter after this first move if gold went to, it was, 500, when it was at 500, it went to 600, 700. It was like the prices were high enough to make money. And of course, you had that nice rally in the stock market. You had liquidity. Tech stocks were kind of out of favor because of the dot-com bust, so they attracted whatever. So I just think that now, if the stage is set where it doesn't really matter if gold goes to 3,300 or 3,500 or stays here, the prices are high enough. These miners can make money. So I think at some point, maybe we need a good find. Maybe we need some more M&A in the sector, whatever, but they can move. So anyhow, that's it for today's stock chart of the day. This is my mother's last day here. We're gonna go out for dinner in a few hours. So once I've and then I'm just gonna be around. I'm really gonna be getting back into this here. I've got my new. I just want to quickly show you guys something here. This is my new website. I've got a guy in the States who set this up. You can see here's the subscription page. Here's the home page. Here's the blog. Now, the one thing we're running into is I really don't want to use GoDaddy because that's where I did this on for my subscription thing. So, like, to subscribe, I'm gonna have to either get an external biller or just use my Patreon or the whatnot. So you can see it looks really nice, really clean, pretty cool. It's a good friend of mine. So if you ever need a website done, this guy, you can see, did a really good job. So I'm pretty excited. I've always had kind of a rudimentary thing, and you can see the last updates are there too. But I'm still going to be putting the updates on addictedtoprofits.net until we do this, until we fully move everything over. So I'll talk to everybody later and take care.